100% you should accept that you've done with function model. Whether you know ABAP or not, that's not a big thing. You have, if you see you've not worked in, then there's no point in learning BW, and there's no point in going to any interview. 100% you should say you worked on function model extraction and you should be able to handle that out. But is it tough to handle that? It just took me 2 minutes to change that out. And then next, so you're able to answer him whether if how to control selections, how to control packet size, if you ask. Then next question would be, what could be the scenario you worked with function model extraction, right? What was your requirement you went about going with function model? If I tell you now, you may not understand, but look at this now. See, now the data source what you create with table, view or info function, all this were not enabled for delta, right? Yes or no? There is a concept like how you enable delta for generic extra. You just click on this button, generic delta. There are two readable, there are readable like timestamp or date or some numeric point or something, and then you can choose a field name. Let's say year dat on cal day, and delta is based on the date wise. Using which field?
Year.
Using year. So what? Here I can have only one delta field. You can have delta enabled on only single field. So let's say now today is April 21st. So all the records till today it extracts. Then if it sees any records with April 22nd as what? Which date? Year dat. Tomorrow when you do delta, it extracts all the records where my year dat is greater than 21st. But if I want to implement like this, extract all the records where my year dat is greater than 21st and change date is greater than 21st. Can I do? In the standard, I cannot. In the standard delta mechanism, I can use only one delta field. If it year dat cal day, it only extracts all the records where my year dat is greater than 21st. Now required is that extract all the records where my year dat is greater than 21st or change date is greater than 21st. Can I implement that logic here? In the standard delta mechanism, I cannot do this. Okay? In the standard delta mechanism can be enabled on single field. That's the point. Yeah? But I'll come out to do this. But look at the requirement. So why did we went with function model? You understood now? Delta could be enabled on single field. Yeah? This was my table. It was a single table like this, yeah. Okay, and I would like to enable delta. This is my table. Customer will never say use function model or something. It just gives you scenario like I want to have a table like this, where document number could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, or some document numbers. Okay. Then he says created on is what? The date when the transaction was created. Okay. 20th April 2015. Changed on is what? The date when the transaction is changed. Now this transaction was created, it was not changed. So the change date is blank. Okay. Change date, when will the change date gets filled? Only when the document is changed, otherwise it is not filled. Net value 15,000. Currency INR. The sales org is let's say 1,000. Okay. Okay, boss. Now can you identify this as my historical record now? The next day what we did is, what did we 21 dot sorry, not, it was not 01 for April. Okay. 04 2015. Change rate is again blank, 16,000 INR. Sales are again 1,000. And then what we did is we modified this record as what? 17,000. So what will be modified date? But created date is same the yesterday's date, because that was the date when it is created. Change date keeps changing this. But first time when the record is created, change date will be what? Blank. Now delta should be enabled on a calendar day, created on or changed on. Changed on. Then what? If you enable it as changed on, for all the records which are created new, will have the change date blank. So will it recognize the created records? Right? So actually to bring in all the delta records, what is my criteria? I should say like this: extract all the records from the table where created on is equal to current date, or change date is equal to current date. That is or, not and. ఎందుకంటే కొత్తగా క్రియేట్ అయినప్పుడు రికార్డు క్రియేటెడ్ డేట్ ఉంటుంది, చేంజ్ డేట్ బ్లాంక్ ఉంటుంది. ఇఫ్ ద రికార్డ్ ఈస్ చేంజ్, ఇట్ విల్ మాడిఫై ది చేంజ్ రికార్డ్ బట్ డస్ నాట్ మాడిఫై ది క్రియేటెడ్ డేట్. సో ఇప్పుడు ఈ రెండు రికార్డ్ ఇది మాడిఫై అనేది కొత్త రికార్డ్. రెండు రావాలంటే ఏం చేయాలి నేను? క్రియేటెడ్ డేట్ ఈ రోజైనా అయిండాలా, లేకపోతే చేంజ్ డేట్ అయినా ఈ రోజు అయిండాలా. టూ కండిషన్స్ ఐ షుడ్ సే, వేర్ క్రియేటెడ్ డేట్ ఈస్ ఈక్వల్ టుడేస్ డేట్ ఆర్ change date is today's date. I've got or clause. Then now do I need to implement delta mechanism on two columns? This is not possible with standard delta mechanism. So I need to implement function model extraction. So then what I'll do? I'll enable created date and change date for data selections. I'll have two range variables. Okay, while opening cursor, I'll collect the I'll make sure they'll always pass my created data and current data from the info package. They'll write a data selection code where it will trigger my info package with current date and change data as what? Current date always. Okay, it will call in the function mode. What I should do? I should collect the selections. I should open the cursor saying what? Open cursor so and so for this table for created date in this or change date in this. Generally it goes with AND operation. I want with OR operation, so I'll write my own selection, control the selections with OR like that. Did you understand this? I want you to try this out. Create a table like this, try to create one record with this and try to implement that logic. Lab to try, I'll sitting here, if you have doubt I can clarify it. So only when you practice it, you'll have confidence enough to handle this in the interview. He'll keep ask you a lot of questions like this. Okay, that is one scenario was. Another scenario was normally there is a table like LIKP which will have all the deliveries. Like how do we have sales order like VBAC and VBAP, and LIKP is delivery line item data was. LIKP and LIPS. LIKP is header, I think. This header. PS. Yeah, LIPS is your delivery line item data. Okay. Normally to extract these deliveries from this table, there are standard extractors delivered by SAP. But actually the question is, the requirement is like this. I am not supposed to extract all the deliveries. I would like to extract only open deliveries. Okay. And when I ask my business, what do you mean by open delivery? They say let's say there is a delivery item. If the delivery does not have a billing, if delivery does not have a goods issue means generally the sales flow will be like sales order, delivery document, then goods issue document, then billing, then posting to finance. What they say is, my delivery is considered as open delivery. Case 1, if delivery does not have a post goods issue document, PGI enter, post goods issue document, then it is a open delivery. Next case, if a delivery document has a PGI and the PGI does not have a billing document, then it is still open delivery. Next case, if a delivery document has a PGI, has a billing, but the billing document is not yet been posted to finance, COPA, then it is still open delivery. I have got these three cases to identify open delivery slips. So loop, have a control over LIPS table, get all the line items in it, then start checking whether this has got PJ or not. If it has got PJ, if it has got billing or not. If it has got billing, then it has been posted or not. Any condition fails, it becomes open delivery, and update those open deliveries into E underscore T underscore data that will be getting into BW. So I wanted to build an extractor where it extracts only these open deliveries. Clear on this? That is one you can, but people who are really good at ABAP try to get this point, this example. If you are not good, the first case is fine to handle it. Getting it? So now the point is, he'll ask you the logic. How do you find out for a given delivery what is the next PJ document? You remember we have a table VBFA. R3 lo a table undana VBFN, through which you can find the data flow. For a delivery, I can know what is billing. What is a goods issue? For a goods issue, I can know what is billing. For sales order, I can know the complete linking of the documents with VBFA. So by VBFA, I am finding out for this given delivery line item what is my corresponding PJ. If I say support is failed, then it's open delivery. If it is successful, then again I can take the billing. Goods issue, again do a query on it to find what the billing document. If you find okay, and then I check the posting status. In VBRP, I can find out the status of a billing document. VBRP, okay. So billing document, VBRP. In VBRP header, like billing header, I can find out what is the billing status of your, posting status of your billing document. And then for finding out data flow, we use this table, VBFA, document flow. And next, there could be, next look at the scenarios for generic extraction. Say, majorly worked on tables you say, but don't give the table name as VBAC or VBUK. It should be Z tables, Z and custom tables. Let's say my business has built the tables in ECC for their custom purpose. Only Z tables for Z tables there is no ready-made extractors. It should be all what? Generic. Let's say my customer had their own custom table. They had their own products. They had their own classification of the products. For classification, they maintained all those in one table. So I wanted to extract the product classification from this Z table. So I built generic extraction on table. Yes. In the extreme case, for example, now you have BW. On top of BW, let's say I've got BPC. In BPC, they do planning. In ECC, I will have COPA. So then what they do, they use some retraction mechanism where they bring the plan values from BPC into ECC, and then they consolidate with the COPA data and then maintain that in some custom table, which is what they call as consolidation values of COPA, which is Z table. To extract this consolidation plan values from BPC and COPA, which are in Z table in ECC, I've done with what? Generic extraction. Generally, it will be generic extraction with table or view or function model. Domain very rare, but you can also go with InfoSeed is also rare again. Only for text. And one more point is, and then they might ask you, now if it's single table, sometimes you get error. Look at this, I am trying to build generic extract on let's say I want to extract from this table. See, I get some error. I'll discuss. It did not give you enough. ये मार्क कहते हैं. Invalid structure template for this. See, why you are getting this error is, if you go to the table, mark, you will have some currency called reference fields, right? Reference fields. Look at this. In this table, I have got some reference fields MEINest of which table here? So in mark table, I am referencing to some fields which are in Mara. As long as you bring that MANS field into my structure, it doesn't accept. So what I will do, go about creating a view on mark and Mara to bring in this field and then create extract structure. Create a data source. ఇప్పుడు మార్క్ అనే టేబుల్లో రెఫరెన్స్ ఫీల్డ్స్ ఉన్నాయి. ఈ క్వాంటిటీస్ అన్నిటికీ రెఫరెన్స్ యూనిట్ ఈస్ ఇన్ విచ్ డిఫరెంట్ టేబుల్. దెన్ ఇట్ మస్ట్ జాయిన్ ఎ వ్యూ ఆన్ మార్క్ అండ్ మారా, దెన్ ఓన్లీ ఇట్ విల్ అలౌ యూ టు క్రియేట్. బికాస్ ఏమంటుందంటే ఎక్స్ట్రా స్ట్రక్చర్ జనరేట్ చేయాలంటే ఈ ఫీల్డ్ లేదు నాకు అంటుంది. ఆ ఫీల్డ్ ఏ టేబుల్లో ఉంది? మారాలో ఉంది. సో యాజ్ లాంగ్ as I join mark and mara and then bring this field, I cannot do those extra data source generation. Okay, that is one issues. Then one more table, let's say even though there is single table, let's say I got single Z table, custom table, and they got a lot of fields. But so you creating a data source on table, then it formulates extra structure with all the fields. Let's say you got 200 fields more. So your extract actually you have 200 fields. Let's say from 200 you just wanted only 5 fields to BW. Then I may not extracting 200 fields and transferring only 5 fields. Does it make sense? Does it degrade the performance? Then what I can do, even on a single table I can create a view and choose only 5 fields of the view. And when you create data source on top of that view, the extract section is found with what? Only 5 columns. Then extract is 5 columns and transfer is what? Only 5 columns. Even the single table, sometimes you can go with the view. Let's say there is Z table, you want to extract. Okay, but the table has got a lot of fields, but you didn't want to extract all the fields. What you can create a database view on a single table with only those columns what you want, 5 or 6 columns. Then build a data source on that view. Then the extract section will form only with those 5 columns. You don't have to hide anything. Why should I extract and then hide? Because initially itself we can reduce the column list by using a view on top. So there could be a scenario about building view on a single table like this also. Clear? Okay. This is